platforms or the tanks or the trucks. We're leaving a lot of the trucks, so the National Guards are depleting their inventory because the orders are to leave the trucks in foreign countries. They're not coming back like they should. So the military will not be able to operate inside the United States very well.
Do you think the powers that be take that into account, Griff? Do you think that?
What do you mean, the trucks or the
well,
the
just
armament?
in general, do you think that they expect the military to have some sort of loyalty in that type of scenario? I mean, my personal opinion or my personal feeling is, well, how could you? If you're stateside, I don't. If you're overseas or something like that, it kind of puts a little twist on it. But I mean, do you think that they, or the elitist, the government thinks that if the economy does collapse, that there will be some sort of loyalty towards the government in that respect?
No, I think they're terrified. I think people in Washington are terrified. I think a lot of people see what's happening. They'll never admit it, but I believe they're just beside themselves.
Well, do you think that's why they're passing a lot of this silly legislation now?
I don't know why they're doing that, other than to confuse and keep the American people in a state of chaos and anger. But none of it will have any real meaning if the monetary system collapses, and it will. And most of the legislation won't fly on its own merits. The states will rebel. They're making states angry. They're creating chaos in the United States. And in addition to that, I think there's a little madness on the part of Pelosi and some of the Harry Reid and some of the others. They're not thinking right. Did you know you can do the ion balance in the atmosphere, the positive negative ions, and control behavior and thinking and depression and up moods. You can do that by altering electrical charges in the atmosphere.
Now, would that be something akin to the HARP technology?
No, it's before a storm, you feel a little depressed or a little uptight. After a storm, the air clears and you feel released and you feel upbeat. It's the difference in the positive negative ions. You can actually watch the crime rates in cities change according to the ionic balance in the atmosphere. You want a balance between the positive and the negative. When you go too high positive, it causes problems in humans and animals. And charts showing crime increases support that notion.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes. So almost that's kind of like a similarity between having an acid chemistry or a basic chemistry. The same thing can be said for a positive ionic charge or a negative ionic charge. Am I correct?
Yes, your body and your brain needs a balance between the positive and negative in the atmosphere. Now, you keep screwing with the atmosphere with the chemtrails, and God only knows what you've got, because they're making pressure zones. They're making the mysterious booms. Everybody do a Google search for mysterious booms, B-O-O-M-S, and you'll find they're all over the country. That's manipulation of scalar transmitters, mainly in Russia, coming at North American weather. Our weather's been manipulated for the last 10 years or so.
Griff, since you're on the subject of scalar, have you heard about these spirals showing up all over the world?
I've seen pictures of it.
Right. Could you attribute that to scalar, or do you think it would have the impact of that? I've heard theories, everything from it being scalar to it being a runaway missile to it being a wormhole or a dimensional portal.
No, I don't think any of that. I don't. My gut feeling, I really haven't thought about it. I've been too preoccupied by all these other things. I don't think it's scalar, and I don't think it's wormholes. I don't know. It could be any number of other things.
Because
the military has quite an arsenal in space right now. The crop circles are military space devices. It's not aliens. It's military in space. They've been playing with the people of the Earth for a long time, putting these pretty patterns. You key it in a computer and then push the button.
I think that well, let me say this. There is a precedent, again, historical precedent, with these spirals, because if you take a look at some ancient Sumerian illustrations, there are pictures of these same spirals that appear also in hieroglyphs, things of that nature. You see the pictures of these spirals up there, and I often wonder if we are entering a phase much akin to kind of like what the Mayans are saying about the 2012 prophecy. Are we entering that time where there's going to be some sort of cosmic reset? Is there, what do you think about that? Do you think that all of this stuff that's going on is merely a distraction for something bigger that is going to affect life as we know it on a global scale?
Well, we're getting into another mindset, another realm.
Right.
I have never gone into it, certainly not over the air, but I've had paranormal experiences myself in the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, profound experiences, like you've never heard of before, you've never read about, the ones I've experienced. And they're so profound, you can't talk about them because you would lose credibility and nobody would believe you.
Right. No, I understand.
Kind of thing. So I know there's more going on out here. There's much more, and it's not church 501c3 religious. It's something more than that.
Correct. No, I absolutely agree. Now I will say this, just so you don't feel uncomfortable being the only one out there, but my wife and I are continually subject to attack of that nature, and it's quite, let me just say, from somebody that was never exposed to it before. It's amazing how now, and I'm not new to it as much as I was in the beginning, but it certainly took me aback when it started happening. And I can tell you that you're certainly not alone, and there are many other people out there that experience this type of, and I call it spiritual attack, simply because I do believe in the forces of good and evil. I do believe that evil can manifest itself to take you off track or to attack you, and I think that it's something very valid, and a lot of people discredit or don't pay attention to because they may not have as strong a spiritual antenna or spiritual connection that some people do. And I've talked to many people about this subject, and one person in general, says if you're not a threat, then they tend not to pay attention to you. That's what somebody gave me the spirituality 101 version of it. Mm-hmm. And all I can say is that these threats do exist. I think as we advance forward in time, a lot more is going to happen. And let me just say this, folks. The government is planning for something big. Why do I say that? Well, the reason why I say that is because why are they digging all of these deep underground military bases all over the world? Why is it that they built a seed vault in the side of a mountain in the Arctic Circle in great haste? And when I say great haste, in 2007 they built this seed vault in 9 months. Start to finish, 9 months. What's the rush? Why are they doing it in such with great haste? And then finally, what's the purpose of all of these Rex 84 camps? All of these refugee camps that are inside the United States. There's got to be a reason why they do it. They don't do it for nothing. So, and of course, history shows that they'll do it. The poor Japs and the Italians got sent to these refugee camps in World War II, or we sent them to refugee camps. It's not unheard of that this would happen again, but I often think that all of this chaos that they're injecting into our society is a distraction for something big.